Have you ever wondered how some people seem to multiply their money effortlessly? Imagine turning small savings into significant financial results over time. Sounds like a dream, right? But that's exactly what Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, did. And the good news? You can learn how to apply the same principles in your daily life. Warren Buffett wasn't born rich. He started with very little but discovered early on a method that transformed his life. Known as the Oracle of Omaha, Buffett built a fortune that today exceeds $100 billion, all with a simple yet extremely powerful formula. The most amazing thing? Anyone can apply it, including you. Today, I'm going to share Warren Buffett's secret formula for multiplying money. These aren't complex theories or empty promises but practical, proven steps that can completely change your financial reality. And why should you listen to me? Because after years of studying and applying these strategies, I know they work. So, if you want to master your finances and build a prosperous future, stay with me until the end of this video. Let's get started. Before we dive into the formula, we need to understand the problem it solves. How many times have you tried to save, invest, or even organize your finances, but it seems like nothing really works? Maybe you've felt that no matter how hard you try, your money never truly grows. Most people work hard but remain stuck in a cycle of financial survival. And why does this happen? In many cases, it's because we follow the wrong strategies or focus on shortcuts that only lead to frustration. Another common mistake is a lack of patience. We want immediate results and end up making impulsive decisions that cost us dearly. Does this sound familiar? Warren Buffett faced similar challenges early in his life. He started by selling chewing gum and newspapers, earning pennies at a time. But instead of spending everything, he did something different. He decided to understand how money could grow on its own. He discovered that by combining discipline, patience, and knowledge, the results were almost magical. And that's the connection I want to make with you. It doesn't matter how much you earn today or where you are financially. What matters is how you use what you have. This is the foundation that sustains Buffett's formula and transformed his life. Now, you're going to discover how it can transform yours too. So, how exactly did Warren Buffett multiply his money? He used simple but incredibly effective principles. And the most interesting part? They're not exclusive to billionaires or experienced investors. Anyone, with any income, can start applying them today. In this video, I'll explain the 10 pillars of this formula. We'll talk about the power of compound interest, the secret to investing only in what you understand, and why prioritizing quality is more important than chasing the lowest prices. I'll also show you the importance of creating a safety net, focusing on the long term, and, of course, maintaining patience and avoiding waste. But that's not all. We'll discuss the need to learn from mistakes, continuously invest in education, and, above all, in the most important asset, yourself. Get ready for a financial transformation with strategies that really work. Let's start with the most powerful concept Warren Buffett always emphasized: compound interest. For him, time is the most valuable ally when it comes to multiplying money. And what is compound interest? It's the exponential growth of your money when you reinvest the profits. Imagine investing $20 a month with a 10% annual return rate. It might seem small, right? But over the years, these small contributions grow impressively. In 30 years, you would have accumulated over $40,000. Now, imagine starting with a larger amount and maintaining this habit for even longer. Buffett started investing at age 11. Of course, he didn't become rich overnight. But over the decades, exponential growth made the difference. And here's the practical lesson: start as early as possible, even if it's with a small amount. Every day you wait is a day your investments could be growing. Want to multiply your money like Buffett? Understand and use compound interest to your advantage. Now that you understand the power of time and compound interest, let's move on to the next essential step in the formula: investing in what you understand. Warren Buffett has a golden rule: never invest in something you don't understand. It sounds obvious, but many people lose money for precisely this reason. They follow random tips or enter markets they know nothing about. Buffett always preferred simple companies with business models that are easy to understand. He invests in brands that are part of people's daily lives, like Coca-Cola and Kraft Heinz. Why? Because these companies have products that people will continue to buy, regardless of the economy. If you want to apply this idea, start by analyzing what you know. It could be the tech sector, food, or even energy. Choose something familiar, study the history of companies in that market, and see which ones have consistent performance. Here's a practical tip: before investing in anything, ask yourself, do I really understand how this company makes money? If the answer is no, keep researching. Investing in what you understand reduces risks and increases your chances of success. With this principle in mind, let's explore the next pillar of Buffett's formula: prioritizing quality over price. Another fundamental principle of Warren Buffett is this: it's better to pay a fair price for an excellent company than a low price for a mediocre one. In other words, he prioritizes quality above all else. And this makes all the difference in the long run. Buffett always looks for solid companies with a history of consistent profits and good management. He often says he prefers to buy a company so good that even an average manager couldn't ruin it. Companies with these characteristics tend to grow sustainably, and the returns end up being much higher over the years. A clear example of this is Buffett's investment in Coca-Cola. When he bought the shares, they weren't the cheapest on the market, but he knew it was a solid company with a global brand and products that generate predictable revenue. The result? Decades later, this investment is still one of the most profitable in his portfolio. So how can you apply this? Before investing, ask yourself, does this company have a consistent history and a promising future? If the answer is yes, prioritize quality, even if the price seems higher. In the long run, quality always outperforms initial cost. Now that we know how to identify good companies, let's talk about something essential for every investor: creating a safety net. One of Warren Buffett's less glamorous but most important principles is protecting your capital. He frequently says, rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. And one of the best ways to follow this advice is to build a safety net. Before investing or seeking big returns, Buffett always ensures he has a margin of safety. This means having enough money set aside to handle unforeseen events without needing to sell investments or take on debt. After all, no one can predict the future with precision. In practice, this means creating a reserve equivalent to 3 to 6 months of your basic expenses. For example, if you spend $1,000 a month, your reserve should be at least $3,000 to $6,000. And where should you keep this money? In a safe and highly liquid investment, like a treasury bond or a money market fund. Having this safety net prevents you from making impulsive decisions or resorting to costly solutions, like loans, during crises. Start building your reserve today, even if it's little by little. A solid safety net is the foundation for any long-term financial strategy. With your safety net established, you're ready to focus on the next element of Buffett's formula: investing with a long-term vision. If there's one characteristic that defines Warren Buffett as an investor, it's his long-term vision. He doesn't buy stocks intending to sell them next month or even next year. In fact, he often says his intention is to hold good investments forever. Why is this important? Because the financial market is volatile in the short term. Prices go up and down, and those who invest with only short-term gains in mind often end up losing money or making impulsive decisions. Buffett understands that true growth happens with time. He lets his investments mature, benefiting not just from profits but also from compound interest. A perfect example of this is Buffett's investment in Apple. He bought shares of the company in 2016 and has held on to them, even during market fluctuations. Today, that investment is one of the most lucrative in his portfolio. How can you apply this? Choose solid investments and commit to them for at least 5 to 10 years. Stop focusing on the daily movements of the market and concentrate on the bigger picture. Patience is one of the greatest virtues of a successful investor. Now that you understand the power of long-term vision, let's explore another essential habit of Buffett: living frugally and avoiding waste. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people in the world, but he's famous for leading a simple life. He still lives in the same house he bought in 1958, drives modest cars, and avoids unnecessary expenses. For Buffett, frugality isn't about deprivation, it's about using money intelligently. Why does this matter? Because many people, as they start earning more, tend to spend more on things that don't bring real value. This creates a cycle of waste that prevents financial growth. Buffett understands that every dollar saved and reinvested is another step toward building wealth. How can you apply this in your daily life? First, review your expenses and identify areas where you can save. This might mean avoiding impulse purchases, canceling subscriptions you don't use, or negotiating better prices on services. Then, reinvest the money you save into something that generates returns, like a financial application or investment. Buffett's frugality is a powerful lesson. The secret to getting rich isn't about how much you earn but about how you spend and reinvest. Remember, every dollar you don't waste has the potential to work for you. Now that you've learned to value every penny, let's move on to one of the most challenging but rewarding principles: patience. Warren Buffett often says that the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. And this couldn't be more true. Patience is an essential virtue for anyone looking to multiply their money, but it's also one of the hardest to cultivate. Buffett never rushes into investments. He waits for the right moment, sometimes for years, before making a significant move. A clear example of this was his decision to invest in Apple shares. He observed the company for a long time before deciding to buy, and that calculated decision has yielded massive returns over the years. How can you apply this? First, resist the temptation to act hastily. Don't feel pressured to buy stocks or invest just because the market is booming or because others are doing so. Instead, take the time to study and evaluate your options. When you find a truly solid opportunity, seize it with confidence. Remember, the best financial results don't come from impulsive decisions but from choices made with patience and strategy. Patience not only protects your capital but also maximizes long-term returns. With patience, you're already on the right track, but knowing how to deal with mistakes is equally crucial. Let's now learn how to turn failures into valuable financial lessons. Warren Buffett is widely recognized for his successes, but what many people don't know is that he has made plenty of mistakes along the way. The difference is that he has always known how to learn from them. A famous example was his decision to invest in Dexter Shoe, a shoe company that turned out to be a financial disaster. He not only lost money but also admitted it was one of the worst deals he ever made. But instead of dwelling on it, Buffett analyzed what went wrong and used that lesson to avoid similar mistakes in the future. And this is something we can all do in our financial lives. Making mistakes is part of the process, but what matters is recognizing them and learning from them. How can you adopt this mindset? Conduct an honest review of your financial mistakes. It could be an impulse purchase, a poorly planned investment, or even a lack of adequate planning. Write down what went wrong and, more importantly, how you can avoid it happening again. Remember, mistakes don't define your financial future. What matters is how you respond to them and what you learn from each experience. That's what turns a mistake into an opportunity for growth. Now that you've learned to extract value even from negative situations, it's time to focus on the greatest investment you can make, yourself. Warren Buffett believes that the best investment you can make is in yourself. He frequently mentions that by improving your skills and expanding your knowledge, you increase your market value and your ability to make smart decisions. After all, the return on this type of investment is unlimited. Buffett is an avid reader and spends several hours a day learning. He says that knowledge is like compound interest. The more you know, the faster you can accumulate even more knowledge and financial results. How can you apply this? Set aside time to study. Read books on finance, business, or personal development. Take courses that can improve your skills or even change your career path. Today, there are affordable and free options, such as videos, podcasts, and online platforms. Additionally, take care of your physical and mental health. As Buffett says, you only have one body and one mind for your entire life. Staying healthy and productive is essential to achieving your financial goals. Remember, investing in yourself isn't just about money. It's about becoming a more prepared, confident, and capable person to seize the opportunities that arise. After investing in yourself, the next step is to continue learning and growing. Let's talk about the importance of maintaining continuous financial education. For Warren Buffett, learning never stops. He believes financial education is an ongoing process and that every day is an opportunity to learn something new. This mindset keeps him ahead, even in a constantly changing market. How can you apply this in your daily life? Dedicate regular time to updating your knowledge about finance, investments, and the economy. Watch educational videos, read articles, and follow market trends. Even small daily doses of information can make a big difference over time. Remember, the more you learn, the better prepared you'll be to make smart decisions and multiply your wealth. Now that we've covered the 10 pillars of Warren Buffett's formula, it's time to reflect on everything and motivate you to act. Now is the time to act. Each of these principles, from compound interest to investing in yourself, requires consistency and dedication. Choose one principle to start with today and commit to it. The journey to financial freedom isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Like Buffett, adopt a long-term mindset and trust the power of time and steady progress. Your financial future starts with the decisions you make today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Success always!